This is a Dreamcast disc and is for use only on a Dreamcast unit. Playing this disc on a hi-fi or other audio equipment can cause serious damage to its speakers.
Dreamcast, up to 6 billion players.
Welcome back to the stage of history.
Why don't we play together?
Hey, it's time to make some crazy money. Are you ready? Here we go!
Please stop this disc now.
Hello and welcome to what we like to describe as the internet's premier Dreamcast-related podcast. Quick disclaimer, your experience may vary. Now, with that out of the way, welcome to episode 150 of the Dreamcast Junkyard DreamPod. My name is Tom, and this time I'm joined by a special guest and a lesser spotted co-host. Back by unpopular demand, I think. It's Kev. Hello, Kev.
Hello. I don't think I've been on since about 111.
Really? That long?
Yeah.
It's been...
I'm like the Dreamcast karaoke machine. People are like, oh, not this thing. what purpose does it have these days?
I was going to say more like the Dreamcast Pimpernel. You just kind of appear every now and then when people are least expecting it. But it's always good fun when you're on. So thank you for taking the time, Kev. There is a reason that you're on the podcast, though, Kev, and that will become apparent later on. But before we get to that, as alluded to earlier, we are also joined this time by a special guest. I almost said very special guest, but I always reserve that. I reserve that moniker for actual special guests. He's a man who has worked in the gaming industry for almost 600 years and has the battle scars to prove it. But also a man who now heads up an indie studio which is responsible for some of the most revered retro-inspired titles of the last decade. That studio is, of course, Bitmap Bureau, and the man in question is one Mike Tucker. Welcome, Mike, to the DreamPod.
Hey, guys. Pleasure to be here. I've been waiting for this moment for a long time.
Your entire life, you could say?
Well, yeah, technically, I suppose.
Yeah, up until this point, it has been your entire life, really, hasn't it? But it's great to have you on the podcast. Obviously, you've been on our radar for a long time with the release of Xeno Crisis a few years ago. But obviously, because you're a man who moves in kind of the same circles as we do. It's great to have you on the pod, and we will, to our listeners, we will be discussing Mike's long and storied career in the gaming industry, how he is sort of intertwined with the Dreamcast over those years, and going forward into the future, what may lie in store for our favourite little console. Now, we do like to start these podcasts with a little bit of a round table, and because I'm not as creative as Andrew, I've just fallen back on the old failsafe of asking our guest, our co-host, if they've been playing anything interesting in the recent past. That can be on the older systems. Mike, I know you've got an eclectic mix of retro systems and new consoles. So I'm going to come to you first, Mike. Is there anything you've been playing on like the retro systems, or anything on the current crop that you like to give a mention to?
Well, this is actually Dreamcast related because it's Naomi based. I've got an Initial D arcade stage version 3 cab in my garage office room, so been putting a few hours into that.
Wow.
Thoroughly enjoying it. It's a fantastic game, so been getting stuck into that. And I've also got Wangan Midnight next to it, so which is its competitor, really, much like it was Daytona versus Ridge Racer back in the day. These days it's Initial D versus Wangan Midnight. The old Sega versus Namco war is still going strong.
What's that? What's the name of the second one? Wangan.
Wangan Midnight Maxi Tune version 3.
To give it its full name, yeah.
Yes. The Wangan is pretty much like the M25. It's a ring road that goes around Tokyo, and it's home to a lot of crazy Japanese racers. But yeah, Namco adapted a manga into a fantastic arcade game. Which sits very nicely alongside Initial D. So I've been putting some time into those and also fixing them up because they're sort of 20, 30 years old and slightly slightly decrepit, but yeah, just about functioning.
Nice. Can you play them both at the same time? I think that's what the listeners want to know.
I've yet to try that.
Well, there you go. There's a challenge.
Okay, yeah, that's the weekend.
You're going to do it live on the podcast.
I mean, you can't see me, so yeah, I'm going to do it right now. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. What about, have you played anything sort of recently, like on the newer consoles or on the PC or anything like that?
I'm going to sound like such a old man, but I just don't play new stuff at all.
No, that's fair enough.
I kind of stopped playing stuff around 2005, maybe, and
just 20 years ago then.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think after the GameCube, I don't know. I just kind of got bored of consoles. Really, I'm just gaming generally. It got a bit samey, and I don't know. It just felt like there was a big shift. And consoles kind of lost their personality as well. Consoles just became PCs in different shaped boxes. But yeah, I love that sort of 80s, 90s era of consoles where every iteration was something new and exciting. And yeah, obviously I don't get that buzz anymore. I'm 50 on Saturday and kind of been there and done it all really. But yeah, I do keep an eye on what people are doing, and I have a little look at interesting games that interest me, but yeah, I don't really play much modern stuff. I'm just too busy making stuff as well, I guess.
Yeah, and of course. And I was just about to say, for anyone from maybe Nintendo or Sony listening, you are obviously the head of a studio that puts games out on current gen platforms, so that's going to put you in good stead.
Oh well, there goes that contract.
just rip it up. Kev, same question to you. Anything that you've been playing?
I'm going to be honest. I consider just disconnecting from the call. I can't believe I have to follow up Mike's. I've been playing on my Initial D arcade cabinet by saying I've been playing FIFA Street on the GameCube.
Oh no, it's not quite the same, is it?
No, it's not quite the same. Mike did mention the GameCube though, so it's topical.
It is.
I've also, and I know this will please you, Tom. Half of this story will please you. I've been playing Metropolis Street Racer.
Oh, nice.
When I played this originally, I didn't like it, and I don't know why I didn't like it. At the time, I was a bit like, it's just kind of time trials. Whereas now, I'm like, this is like my ideal game. I don't know why I wasn't that enamored with this when I was much younger. I've been boring my other half because not content with having 2 Dreamcasts in my games room. One in the living room. I've now put one in the bedroom as well to play on at night.
Amazing.
And I'm like, I've bought an MX-5. I'm like, oh, sorry, you were asleep. But
do you know what I've got in my mind? I've got an image of you like trying to take your like save file to one of your other Dreamcasts in the house, and then having like a fit of rage when you realise that the save file is in the wrong
room.
No, it's in the wrong hertz, on the Dreamcast, because you can't put like a 50 hertz save on a 60 hertz game start, can you? And vice versa on Metropolis Street Racer. I'm sorry, Mike. You probably think we're the biggest nerds on the planet, but
first world problems. Yeah.
It is, massively. So yeah, that's a good mix there. FIFA Street and
yeah. So when I'm not saving up for Danielson on FIFA Street, I'm trying to upgrade my Metropolis Street Rider kudos rank.
Yeah, that was it. It was kudos points, wasn't it, for drifting and
it certainly was. Yeah.
Winning. Did they put more emphasis on that than actually winning races?
I think they did, and also there was a really big sort of game-breaking bug where on some of I think they were the hot laps, you could just basically ride around and do as many skids as you could for about an hour, which is what I did to like get a ridiculous amount of kudos to open up the rest of the entire chapter without even trying. So
amazing.
Yeah. As for me, what have I been playing? Well, on the...
We don't care, Tom.
Well, okay, I'll just move on. No.
Go on then, Tom. What have you been playing?
Excuse me. On the Nintendo Switch, I have been playing a game called Alien Incursion, which is a VR game that was ported to the Switch too. And it's it didn't really get very good reviews, and it was basically a VR game that was ported onto a non-VR platform, and you can kind of tell because it is a little bit janky, but it's one of the best kind of games that has that whole Alien feel as a shoot 'em up to it. I mean, I didn't really get on with Alien Isolation, even though it's kind of revered as probably the best Alien game. But this one, because it's more of a combat shooter and is way better than Colonial Marines, you've got the little motion scanner and you've got the noise of the aliens and the visual design of the sort of the levels that you're in. Very much take me back to LV426. So it's really faithful in that sense in terms of aesthetics. But it's not a AAA game as they call it. But it's good fun. In terms of retro stuff. Also on the Dreamcast, I've been getting back. I always say this. It's a game that I go back to so often on the Dreamcast. It's Sternwind, just because it's a classic.
Shooter.
Yeah, the classic shmup shooter. I don't know. There's just something about it. I mean, I've got to be honest. It's mainly that first level that I'm in love with. The spectacle of it and just the sort of the wow factor, the music, the visuals. I just love it. After that, I mean, I can give take it or leave it, but I do go back to it every now and then, and that's the one I've been playing the most recently on the Dreamcast. So yeah.
Did they front load it a bit?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I've got it on the Switch as well, and I have been playing it on the Switch. Going back and forth between the Dreamcast and the Switch version. It's a really good port on the Switch, and it's perfect for handheld. But yeah, it's just one of them games that I think it's an acquired taste. I know that some people don't particularly like the music, but for me, it's one of them games that has a clear link to a console that I do have a particular love for, which is the Atari Jaguar, as I'm sure many people listening to this will know, because that game did start out, as I've mentioned about 14,000 times on this podcast, as a Jaguar CD game called Native. And there's little hints in the Dreamcast version as to the history of the game. On one of the stages, these little boxes fall down from the ceiling and they've got Jaguar logos on them. But in the Switch version, they've removed all that. Can't think why. But that was a little bit disappointing. I wanted to see some Jaguar action on the Switch, but you can if you get the Atari 50 collection, so not all is lost. Anyway, that's enough about what we've been playing. We're going to move on to our main topic, and that main topic, you'll be delighted to hear, Mike, is you. So
hey.
We're going
I love
to
talking about myself.
Yeah, me and Kev are just going to disappear now for like half an hour. You just talk into your microphone. No,
okay, you might want to prompt me occasionally.
No, obviously, as I alluded to at the top of the show, you have had a very long and storied career in the games industry. And I believe you kind of cut your teeth with the Sales Curve Interactive. Was that SCi Games?
Yeah, I think I joined them just as they went from being the Sales Curve to Sales Curve Interactive. Mm-hmm. I think it was the CD-ROM era, and suddenly interactive was the new buzzword. So yeah, the studio became SCi, as it was known in short. Yeah,
how did that come about then? What was your first kind of way into that? What was your kind of foot in the door? Did you just see an advert in the paper, or what happened?
Almost, yeah. I mean, I was at college, and I went into a third year of college because I just didn't know what to do. I didn't think I was smart enough for university. I'm probably still not, to be honest. But yeah, I was reading Edge magazine back then, and there were quite a few companies like Rare and Sega and Atari who were posting jobs, like QA jobs and design jobs and all this. And I'd write off a letter and get rejected because they're too far away, or I just didn't have the qualifications. But
like an actual physical letter, like pen and paper kind of thing.
Yeah. This was 1994, 95.
Oh, okay.
So that's how we had to do it. This was before the days of email.
Of course, yeah.
And yeah, got rejected multiple times. But yeah, one day I came across an advert for Aardvark Swift, who are a recruitment agency, and I think they were just advertising for testers, and I thought I'd fire off a letter, and they got back to me straight away and said, there's this development studio in Southampton called Sales Curve Interactive. They're looking for QA people. We can get you an interview on, I think it was Monday, and I went along, didn't know how to prepare, what to say. So the only thing I could think of was to take my PlayStation 1 memory card with my Ridge Racer times on it.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and I just turned up with that, and we had a bit of a chat, and I said, I've got my Ridge Racer times here if you want to see how decent a gamer I am. And I don't think they even looked at it. They just saw it and thought, oh, okay, you've got the job pretty much. So,
Did you slide it across the table? If you plug that in, lads, you'll be pretty impressed.
I didn't get that far, but yeah, it was probably a bit cringe looking back. But hey, it worked. It got their attention. So
absolutely, yeah. I mean, I can't imagine many other people turned up with a memory card saying, "Here, lads, check this out." Can I just ask? I mean, this won't make any like sense or anything to anybody who's listening to this who isn't in Southampton. Whereabouts were they based? SCi Games.
Really close to the train station, actually, like a 5-minute walk.
Oh, okay.
On the Hill Lane side, so opposite Toys R Us. The other side of the tracks. Yeah, it was on Milbrook Road East, and it was this very bland sort of commercial estate with a few other offices there. Yeah, you wouldn't know there was a video game development studio, but they had about must have been 40, 50 people in there.
Yeah. Because they were a big name, weren't they? They were a big name at the time.
Yeah, I think they evolved from Storm. So Storm were 8-bit, and later 16-bit development house. They were porting a lot of games as well, like Ninja Warriors, maybe Rodland. Mm-hmm. Oh, Silkworm is.
Oh,
yeah. Which and then we later made a sort of pseudo sequel called Swiv.
Yes.
Was it Swiv? Yeah, it was. Swiv 3D, sorry. So, they also made Swiv. I think it's because they couldn't get the license to make a sequel to Silkworm, which would have been Silkworm 2. So they somehow ended up with Swiv, which got interpreted as Silkworm 4, but it was actually Special Weapons Integrated Vehicle. Anyway, long, boring story. But Swiv was one of the games I worked on. I actually designed some of the levels on that. They put a lot of resources into the studio, we pumped out quite a few games, and we also published games there as well. So the biggest being Carmageddon, of course. That was absolutely huge. Real pleasure to work on. It was a lot of fun to test.
And what was your role on that game then?
Just tester, really, but I'd say I'd probably put more hours in than any of the other testers, and I got very good at that game. We used to play 8-player network, I think it shows how good a game it is if you carry on playing during your lunchtime. Usually you get to lunch and you just stop what you're doing and go and play Descent or something. But there were times where we actually carried on playing Carmageddon. We were having that much fun. So excellent game and really put SCi on the map.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And again, sorry for those people who haven't got a clue what we're talking about when we're describing the streets of Southampton, but I was just curious. Now, as a slight aside, Mike, are you aware of the recent Carmageddon game that was released?
I saw a bit of it. Watched a video review.
Any opinions?
I mean, it looks. it looks polished. I don't know. Seems a bit lacking in personality, and they've changed the mechanics quite a bit. I think it's hard to live up to those first two games. They're a real labour of love, and Patrick and the team just put so much heart into them. And there's so much character. And I remember they even, one of their friends was a stuntman, and they were sort of running over him and recording footage of him rolling over car bonnets and things like that, and blowing things up as well. Yeah, those guys were crazy, and they had a real, a really great time making that game, and I think it just showed. It was. It's just a quality product and a lot of fun.
Absolutely, yeah.
I don't think anything since has really got close. So
we won't mention Carmageddon 64. We'll move on from that. I'm sure you didn't have anything to do with that. Obviously, it's a bit later, isn't it?
I think I had to test it. I certainly tested the PlayStation 1 version, which it struggled on the PlayStation hardware. To be fair. And I think I did play Carmageddon then 64. Yeah, that was really, really not good.
Yeah, one of our other co-hosts, Jazz, he's a sucker for like really, really poor. He's a big fan of like AI slop games on the eShop. and also Carmageddon 64 and Spirit of Speed 1937. So yeah, you can tell what kind of games he's into. Just real dross.
Was Spirit of Speed also SCi? Or did I imagine that?
No, I think it was LJN that published it.
Yeah, it was LJN, wasn't it? I think, yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the publisher off the top of my head, but sorry, I was just trying to rib Jazz while he's not here to defend himself, and I think I did that quite successfully. Anyway, moving swiftly on then, Mike. What happened what happened next? I mean, because you obviously went on to work for a company called IO Productions. How did that come about? How did you transition from SCi to that outfit?
Well, like I said, we were making quite a few games in the Southampton studio, but SCi at the same time were also publishing games. And I think they soon realised that the games they were developing weren't selling really anywhere near as well as the games they were publishing. Mm-hmm. And I think they just switched from developing and publishing to purely publishing. So they pretty much, I'll tell you what happened. One day, I think they called everyone in the Southampton studio down to London, the London office. And whilst they were there, they told them they were all being made redundant. But meanwhile, back in Southampton, they were changing the locks to the office doors. So they locked us all out. And I remember people passing like computers and monitors out of the windows. Just I think there were one or two people left in. So yeah, they managed to get a whole load of stuff out. But it was pretty nuts. Yeah. So yeah, the whole Southampton studio got shut down. They kept on a few of the testers though, including myself. So I probably worked in Southampton for a few more months, which was weird because there was like 5 people in the building. So yeah, it was quite a good time actually. But eventually they asked us to go and work in London. So that was a 3-hour commute to Battersea every bloody morning, which was
every day.
It was horrible, absolutely horrible. And then 3 hours back, of course. But at that time we were testing Carmageddon 2, which again, it was a great game. But yeah, working in London was just horrible, and I really didn't enjoy it. But luckily, some of the guys who got made redundant formed a new startup called IO Productions, and they had this concept for a sheep herding game called Stampede. And I think I got an email one day asking if I'd like to come and have a chat, because I still needed guys. That was Glenn and John. It's also Andy Bain. A few of the other guys that I still work with now, in fact.
Yes.
Went along to the interview, and of course, I just had to get that job really, because it was just down the road in Eastleigh, and it meant I could move out of QA as well. This was a production assistant role, so yeah, it was a really good opportunity, and the next sort of step up the ladder.
Yeah, the next kind of stepping stone. And what era would this have been about? Would it have been about 99? Was the Dreamcast a thing then? Was it out?
Exactly, yeah. It was about 99, I think. And yeah, the Dreamcast was very much on our radar. So we were developing Stampede for the PC, but we were also looking at the Dreamcast as well. And we had someone come in to start that porting process. So the game, I think it got pretty far along. I mean, the PC version was perhaps 80-90% done, I think. But then the plug got pulled on that. That was Infogrames who were publishing it, which was a big French publisher at the time who later became Atari. And yeah, it's a bit of a shame really, because it will. We put a lot of effort into this game, and it looked like it was going to go over the finish line. And that, of course, meant the Dreamcast version also sadly got cancelled. So,
well, before we get to that, we will come on to Stampede in a minute, because it is something of a. We do have a particular love for cancelled projects at the Junkyard, and we document them whenever we find out about them. But before we get to that, I just want to touch on another game that IO is perhaps most famous for on the Dreamcast, and that is a game that is very close to Kev's heart. As I mentioned earlier on in the intro, and that game is a game called Giant Killers. Now, Kev, as I say, as the foremost expert on this game in the Western world.
Yep. Let me just pause FIFA Street. I can join back in now. Weirdly, Mike, one of my first kind of interactions can be tracked on the Dreamcast Junkyard blog, which is where Tom had been playing Giant Killers, and he'd been playing as Lee RMI. And if you go and find this article now, you'll see my like, yo, Lee RMI, like, and you could see this, like, I think I'd met Tom a few times then. I'd met him. The first time I met him was at Wolverhampton's Retro Revival. And then we worked. I say we'd worked together. We'd worked on a show at Play Manchester, which is how I've discovered the blog. But that was it. Once I realised that he knew of Lee RMI, I was like, this is it. Friends for life.
There's two questions. First of all, for those people listening who haven't got a clue what we're talking about, the first one, I suppose, is to say what Giant Killers is and what the name refers to, and also a little very brief explanation as to what Lee RMI is. Kev, the floor is yours.
Yeah, right. I'm going to imagine that I'm not the only person who did this. Do you know at the time I had no real concept of Giant Killers, and then when I would see it when I was collecting for Dreamcast, I never realised it was a football game. I'd always presumed it was some kind of RPG or action game or something like that, and it was even though it's got like a goalkeeper's gloves and a ball on the front of the box. I'd only ever seen it on eBay, so when you were scrolling past all the sealed games that used to be like $1.99 in that era. So it is the Dreamcast's, I'm going to say, only football management game, because whilst I know there's Build a Club or whatever it's called, it's not really a management game, is it? It's more of a club life sim.
Yeah.
So I can't even remember what those titles are called now.
Is it Let's Build a Professional Soccer Club or something like that?
That's it. That's it. Yeah. That's it. I think
were they Sega games?
I think they are Sega. I don't know if they're Sega developed, but yeah, I think they're definitely Sega published, or they're an ancillary of Sega. So, but yeah, they're very strange. I've played the PlayStation one. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. One of the first things you do is pick a secretary who basically is like picking a wife, like the way that they detail like her stats and her attributes and like what she's good at. Very odd. But Giant Killers though, I know I'm going to sound crazy. I think this is a really good game, and it's exponentially. I can't say that. It's really gone up
exponentially.
Lewis will cut that out.
It won't.
It's really gone up in value, Tom. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, don't tell me that. How much is it worth? Because I sold a sealed copy a few years ago. I don't know. It might be 5-10 years ago.
I want to say on CEX, this is over 110 at the minute.
Oh, okay. I feel that's fine then. I think I sold mine for 100. So. Yeah, this is why games companies need to stop just using clearinghouses like Sega recently did, isn't it? To just take everything to the tip. Like we just go and take it for them. Yeah.
So Giant Killers is a football management sim for the Dreamcast, as Kev alluded to. It's the only one that was released for the Dreamcast. It's a UK exclusive, so therefore a PAL exclusive. And the name, for those people who don't know, what it refers to is a concept mainly in English football, but also in other European countries, where a team from a lower league is drawn against the team from a higher league in a cup competition, and the team from the lower league wins, and they become known as Giant Killers. I think it might be like a sort of a reference to like the David and Goliath. Yeah, story from the Bible. So that's where the name comes from, and the Lee RMI thing is a is a
I remember
team.
that name.
Yeah,
I remember seeing them.
It was Lee. Was it Railway Miners Institute?
Mechanics Institute.
Oh, Railway Mechanics Institute. It's a defunct football team from a small town called Lee in northwest England. And when I did my initial article on this game on the Dreamcast Junkyard, I was playing as that team because my dad lived in Lee. And it was just like a little sort of a nod and an in-joke. And Kev obviously spotted it and commented, and that was the first interaction we had back in about 2014. So, yeah.
And I feel like I need to say this for the 7 people out there. Lee RMI used to be Horwich RMI. Horwich as in near Bolton. And because they couldn't get their own ground, that's why they moved into what was... I can't remember the name of it. It was Lee...
It was Hilton Park.
Hilton Park, that was it. So they moved into the rugby league ground with what were... Lee Centurions, wasn't it, I believe, at the time, who are now Lee Leopards.
Yes.
So
who won the Challenge Cup a couple of years ago.
They did win the Challenge Cup a couple of years ago, yeah. This is the most Lee has ever been talked about on any medium anywhere in the world. So
if you are in Lee listening to this, leave us a comment, leave us a review to let us know that you feel seen, okay? But anyway, sorry. All that is to say that, yeah, Giant Killers is a football management game on the Dreamcast. Kev is the most preeminent expert.
No way. I've put in more hours than Kev.
we did. I say we, like other people were involved in this. I did 6 episodes of this on our YouTube channel, which was during the Qatar World Cup, because I remember it was called like the Premier League Replacement Service, and I played as Bradford, and this kind of kick-started my new life. Playing football management games and recording myself. So
and all one of your subscribers loved it.
They did. Yeah, I can't remember. I'm really doing this person an injustice now. There is one Dreamcast Junkyard follower who, on any comment about new and upcoming stuff, he's always like, "I just want Bradford Season 2 Giant Killers from Kev," and I can't remember his name, but I'm like, one person remembers it fondly, and it's not me.
Anyway,
probably me. Yeah.
I was going to say, yeah, it's probably Mike. So, Mike, what was your role on that? Well, however small it was, and what are your memories of the development of that game, if you've got any?
I think I tried to erase it from my memory. It was a painful period. I think at that point I was just getting into programming, and this was programming like the early mobile games for Nokia and so on. I think it was around then anyway, but yeah, Giant Killers was actually developed by some friends of ours who ran a studio called Smoking Gun.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, they were an interesting bunch. They were run by Rob and Fergus McNeil. And so Fergus I knew from SCi. He was really a game designer and producer there, I suppose you could say. Very creative guy. Also loved football, so yeah, I think it was only a matter of time before he was going to make a football game.
Was one of them a Wickham fan by any chance, Mike?
Wickham? Ooh, I don't know. My memory doesn't go back that far, but yeah, quite possibly. I mean, Ferg was he's Scottish, so yeah, from some part of Scotland. Rob, I'm not sure where he was from. I think he's still around, but yeah, don't think he's involved in games anymore. But yeah, Smoking Gun, they're interesting. They put out some sort of quite raunchy games. I think they made a game called Sexy Soccer, or did I imagine that?
Ooh.
I think no. Or was it called Soccer? That. No, Soccer. It might have been called Soccer Strip on mobile, which we ported. I think. It was a strange period, but yeah. Anyway, so they wanted us to port Giant Killers from PC to Dreamcast, and I think our friend Chris Wilds programmed it, and Andy Bain then ported it to Dreamcast, and it was a real headache. It took bloody forever, but I was testing it, so I would have to sit there 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. You know, for the best part of it might have been 6 months, it might have been maybe 12. I don't know. It was all a blur. But it was interesting at first because I'm really into football. But you know, after a week or two of playing the same footy management game and trying to break it, you kind of lose the will to live. And I was glad to see the back of it. Yeah.
I was gonna say, did you dress as a goalkeeper for any part of it, like I did on episode 4?
No,
No commitment, Mike. No commitment.
No, I think I probably had a nervous breakdown at that time. I really did not enjoy playing that game, and I think I thought I was out of test as well, and suddenly I got dragged back to test, and it was like, oh god! And not only that, I'm testing, probably the driest game I've ever played, but it has its fans, right?
Can I ask a role-specific question about it? If you're a tester, how much of your day is like mapped out for you, or like is there a schedule you follow, or does someone set like I want you to do this today, or is it kind of how much free reign do you have?
I think it's quite different now. I imagine it's a lot more organised, but back then it was very freeform. It was just play the game until something breaks, and just do random stupid shit all the time. And I was pretty good at that. So yeah, I remember I was playing a Dungeons and Dragons game on PC, and there was a shop, and you can buy like a magic sword +1, +2, +3, and of course the price went up exponentially with the damage that it did. But I thought I'd try buying a magic sword -1, and actually. The shopkeeper paid me money to buy it, and I thought, okay, I'll buy a magic sword -100, and he'd give me like 1,000,000 gold pieces. And I thought, oh, this is fantastic. So I think that game, I was probably like 10, 11 at the time, but it just made me realise that games are quite fun to break, and so I applied similar techniques to when I was testing. At SCi in my actual job, I've just tried weird stuff that people wouldn't normally try, whether it's banging your head against the wall or picking up every bit of cheese in the game or whatever it is. You just try stuff out until something breaks, and it wasn't very structured, but I think it was pretty effective. And I think if you look back at our older titles, back then we only had one shot as well. You couldn't patch these games. They were released on floppy disk or CD-ROM, and later cartridge, so they had to be close to perfect, really. So there was a lot of pressure on the test team to do a good job, and we worked crazy hours and we're very dedicated. It's a horrible job, but there's far worse jobs you could have, and it's a nice way into the industry too.
Yeah, you could have dropped Bizarre Creations a little bit of a call and said, hey, in the hot lap on MSI, you can do like 1 million donuts and get 20,000 points of kudos.
It's not too late, Tom.
It is, because they won't return my emails about coming on the podcast. So just a little bit of just something that Kev mentioned earlier. Kev, why did you ask about Wickham Wanderers earlier on?
Because they're in the FMV. I'm sure it's Wickham, and I remember thinking it was an odd choice. And it's like if people remember European Club Soccer on the Mega Drive,
yes,
Rotherham were on that, and it was only years later after I moved up this way that I discovered from someone who worked for Actua. Gremlin Games even, that knew someone from there, that they'd put them in because they were all Rotherham fans. So the first time I was playing Giant Killers, I was like, I wonder if one of them's a Wickham fan. Watch someone will be like, it's actually the Hearts Away kit, Kev. I thought you were a football head, but I'm convinced it's Wickham.
You've let yourself down again, Kev.
I have. It's like, what do I get nothing for the Horwich RMI fact?
Brilliant. Well, that's Giant Killers. Thankfully, we won't reopen any more old wounds on that one for you, Mike. Although I will say that it did review quite well for both the Dreamcast and the PC. So it did. Yeah, it got some pretty good reviews. I've not got any to hand right now, but I did read some over the last week or so in preparation for this.
I've got Giant Killers Euro Manager 2000 here in my hand, and from Planet PC they said you'd be a turnip to miss it.
A turnip?
Which I thought was brilliant copy.
Graham Taylor reference,
yeah. So
nice.
Needless shot at Graham, because he might have been a big PC fan. So.
let's move back to Stampede then, Mike, because obviously you mentioned that game earlier. And as I said, that's a game that was never released for the Dreamcast, as you alluded to earlier. So what's the story there? I mean, how far along was that? And before we get to that, I guess I should kind of explain, or do you want to explain, Mike, what the premise of the game was?
I'll do my best.
Yeah,
it kind of evolved over time, really. I think initially it was meant to be one man and his dog. So this old Yorkshire chap and his border collie and a bunch of sheep, and the idea was to herd the sheep by controlling the collie down country lanes and through fields and into a pen. So yeah, it sounds great on paper, but well, maybe it doesn't. The biggest problem was that you've got two controllable characters, and it's a real-time game as well. So you're sort of playing two versions of Mario 64 at once, and you can toggle between the perspective of either the dog or the farmer. So I think that was one of the control methods, but I think eventually we settled on some sort of whistling control where you can whistle left or right to send your dog either clockwise or anti-clockwise around the sheep, which again sounds fine, but as soon as the sheep get out of eyesight, then you're screwed really. And also it depends on how you're looking at the flock as well. So there are all these issues with the design, which I don't know if we ever really truly resolved them, but the game just ended up evolving over time as well with Infogrames input. I think they wanted it to be a bit more arcadey and accessible. So it almost turned into like a racing game in the end with like checkpoints that you had to get the sheep through. That might have been my influence. I don't know. I was really into racing games. Well, I still am, obviously. But it just sadly never quite got finished.
So it was in development originally for the PC, and obviously there was a Dreamcast port in the works. And how far along did that get? Do you know?
I think it felt like the Dreamcast wasn't too far behind. I think the logic was pretty much the same, the code, which controls the characters and the sheep and so on. So that was fairly easy to port over.
Yeah, there was one particular article that was quite popular, especially when referencing this game, for an article I wrote several years ago now, which included information about that interesting mechanic using the Dreamcast microphone.
Yeah,
that was bundled with Planet Ring.
Yeah, I think that we did get it working, but I don't know how practical it was really.
I mean, I can't whistle, so I would have been pretty screwed at that. I mean, I'll have a go now, see if I can whistle. Listen.
Go on, then.
I'm going to put my lips together and blow. Listen. This is great podcasting, this, isn't it?
I feel like I can hear future Lewis sighing.
Go on, let's have a listen. Go on, can you whistle, Kev? All right, sure. Can you, Mike? Go on, let's have a listen. Oh, that's not much better than me, That's not much better. So we've concluded then that Kev is the best whistler, so therefore he's probably going to be the best at Stampede that ever does get released.
I have been to the Yorkshire dog trials as well. Not on purpose, it just happened to be happening at the same time we were at that particular country house. But, maybe destiny was calling. I didn't even realise.
It was, absolutely.
Missed vocation there.
Missed vocation. The article Tom mentions is pretty much the only time I've seen this. And it looks really nice graphically, this. It looks really interesting. Like it would have stood out on the Dreamcast. It's a shame that, like you were saying, they were struggling with the controls.
Yeah, because like in the screenshot, sorry, Mike, it's like because you describe it as a sheep herding game, and obviously I imagine people who haven't seen the screenshots will just imagine sort of a sheep. Oh, just for information, the farmer was called Farmer Blow. and the sheepdog was called Shep, I believe.
Yeah.
But it's not, because you actually end up like herding like aliens and penguins and in these different biomes. You know, like you got the Arctic biome and the jungle and all these different crazy places with like quite relevant animals that you have to like herd into their like prison cells almost with this sheepdog and this farmer. So yeah, interesting how it took a weird turn.
Yeah, I mean, well, that wasn't even the final turn as well. The towards the end, Infogrames, they just came to us one day and said, right, we want you to completely change the game. We want to get rid of the Yorkshire farmer, and we want a cute young Eskimo girl dressed in pink with a polar bear herding penguins. And it was like, what the fuck? So suddenly, the whole game's just turned on its head, and we're just like, oh, for fuck's sake. And I don't think it was too long after that it all just fell apart, and Infogrames pulled out.
Was that because of the Dreamcast kind of floundering at that point, or what was the sketch with that?
Well, I think the official reason was that they already had a competing product, which just seems nuts, really. Why would you pick up two games that are in the same genre? So
there were two sheep herding games.
I think it was called Sheepdog and Wolf. Was it a Wile E. Coyote game?
It's I think it's a PS1 game, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's Wile E. Coyote. He's one of the lesser Warner Brother characters. My memory of that is it's actually quite well regarded, but it seems like a completely different game. I'm sure the wolf is trying to eat the sheep, and you're the guard dog on that. So it's more of I'm going to use the word stop him up. I don't think that's the real genre, but
I mean, just because they got sheep in them, it doesn't mean they're the same kind of game, does it? But that was the reason they gave us anyway.
That story feels a bit like, do you know, like someone higher up than you has warned you, right, I'm going to need a new concept for the game, Kev, and you forget about it, and they come in like, right, what's the new concept? What farmers are out? What's in? Eskimo girls, and you just say the first thing that comes into your head. It's like there was surely no market research on that, Mike. It's just someone's work experience daughter has come up with that, and they've just been like, well, the boss's kid thinks it's cool.
It did feel a lot like that. Yeah, we were just like, screw this. So,
This guy comes in. What's the new angle, Mike? Monkey tennis.
I'd gladly make a game about monkey tennis, but youth hostling with Chris Eubank. That would be a classic. But, that was the end of Stampede, sadly. And the Dreamcast version was fairly well developed. It was there's a demo floating around the office.
So we're here, because again, obviously looking into your history and some of the games you'd worked on in preparation for this episode, I happened across an interesting thread on our favourite forum, Dreamcast Talk, and people were speculating on there that you potentially have a copy of this game somewhere, and there was rumours of it maybe surfacing in a retail jewel case. Can you put those rumours to bed, or give us some hope that something might become of it? I mean, we'd love to put it into some kind of package, even if it's not entirely complete. But it's just time. Time is always the issue these days, and we just find we've got so much on our plate. That all these other fun sort of side projects that we'd like to wrap up and finish off, they're just not happening really. But maybe one day we might find a few weeks where we can have a good look at Stampede and see what might be needed to just make it something of a product. No, that's fair enough. I'm just writing down here with my pen. Giant Killers and
Christmas 26.
Giant Killers and Stampede double pack confirmed for Switch 2. Just writing that email to Nintendo Life as we speak.
What's the Switch?
Oh yeah, of course you don't like current consoles, do you?
I was going to say, Tom will probably know this game, but you might not have come across this, mate. Tom, there's the RTS, the Disney game, is it called Dinosaur? Just Dinosaur?
Oh, it is, Disney's Dinosaur, yeah.
And that looking at this and hearing what you were saying, Mike, it kind of reminds me of that where it was like it was almost like an RTS, wasn't it? That Tom, I remember playing this recently with my kid when we had no internet. So I dug the Dreamcast with all like the ROM games out, and I was trying to find her so to play, and she picked that, and it was incomprehensible for the first 10-15 minutes to us. But one of the characters is I want to say it's like a pterodactyl or something, but it's got you switch to that with a bird's eye view, and it's clear that they've put that in because it gives you that much better, wider view of the whole map, and then you switch back to the other characters. And I just thought that was a really clever concept at the time, that they'd found that way of making like such a different RTS for a console, like by just adding in a character that kind of gives you an overview.
Oh man, we should have done that.
There you go. Some notes there, Mike, for when you resurrect Stampede in Christmas 2026, whenever it was.
Yeah, if you could make sure me and Tom are noted in the credits.
Yeah. Executive producers. Yeah.
As we've alluded to, Mike, of course, you now involved in Bitmap Bureau, the celebrated studio that has brought us such delights as 88 Heroes, Ninja Showdown, Xeno Crisis, obviously, Battle Axe, Final Vendetta, and of course, the most recent smash hit, Terminator 2D No Fate. Now, obviously, we're going to talk about the Dreamcast game in amongst that lovely bunch. But how did you then sort of go for? I mean, obviously this is very abridged, but how did you go from IO Productions to Bitmap Bureau?
Well, in between that period, let me see. IO Productions, we ended up being one of the most successful mobile game developers in Europe. So I think at one point we had 5 of the top 10 or something. It was crazy. There's one game in particular called Pub Pool, which did really well for us, and we made a few spin-off games called Pub Darts, Pub Fight, Pub Fruity.
Was the theme here? There's a theme developing.
Yeah. Well, if it's doing well, you might as well follow up on it, right?
Absolutely.
So we ended up making like a Tomb Raider game, a James Bond game, Tiger Woods, made a load of golf games.
What was the Tomb Raider game? What, for mobile?
It was called, was it the Osiris Codex or something? It was like it's kind of like Prince of Persia, so sort of segmented side-scrolling puzzle platformer. So it worked quite nicely on mobile.
The unlockable Eskimo skin for Lara Croft.
The
makes so much more sense now, Mike. Now that we have the context.
No, sadly not. We did really well, and with success comes inquiries about buyouts and so on, and. Eventually the higher ups agreed to deal with an American company called InfoSpace, who you've probably never heard of.
No.
I think they ran a search engine called Dogpile.
Oh, I've heard of that. Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
But they're also heavily invested in the mobile ringtone market, if you remember that.
Oh yes, of course.
Yeah, so I think that's where they were making their money. And they owned us, I guess, felt like 3 years, I guess. We expanded and released a load more games, and it was all going pretty well. But then I think there was a big shift in how mobile ringtones were distributed. So I think previously record labels would go to like a middleman and sell their ringtones. And the middleman in this case was InfoSpace. But I think people like EMI and Sony and so on then realised they could just sell direct to the customer, perhaps.
Right.
And that's where the bottom fell out of that market. So, yeah, almost overnight they had to start shutting down some of their studios, and we were one of them. So, yeah, that was the end of IO Productions. So a little sort of spin-off came about from that called Finblade, which was headed up by Fergus, actually, the guy who created Giant Killers. And yeah, we were mostly making word search games, I suppose, for iPod Touch and the new iPhone. It was like real early days of smartphones. But yeah, I didn't really enjoy it. And I think within a year they let a few more people go. So it was at that point that I thought, right, I'm going to just try and make my own stuff. You know, I've had enough experience now, and I was pretty frustrated that I didn't really get to put my own stamp on a lot of games. So yeah, I formed, well, I say formed a studio. Really, it was just me in my living room with my computer and working with a couple of other guys who also worked at home. But yeah, the studio was called Megadev, and obviously named after the thrash metal band Megadeth.
Obviously, yeah.
Yep. And we were making flash games, so a lot of puzzle stuff, but also action. And yeah, it was a lot of fun, but the money was up and down. It was just horrific at times. You know, I was paying my mortgage with my credit card. You know, got to that sort of stage. And I had bailiffs phoning me up and all sorts. So yeah, pretty stressful. But yeah, eventually got a deal with Adult Swim to release our side-scrolling platformer called House of Dead Ninjas, and that did really well. And then they asked for a Steam sequel called Super House Dead Ninjas, and that did extremely well. That was their number one game for some time. So yeah, I think it just made us realise we can step up from Flash and go more towards desktop and maybe eventually console.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying, and I'm sure someone at home will be doing this as well, charting like you applied for your first job by letter after seeing a magazine, then someone emailed you, then you were making Flash games. It's like you've got the full progress of like technologies marching on via like communication and like and how to program and create and what we were creating for. So been all over the place really. I think the biggest jump was going from like PC Dreamcast development back to the very earliest mobile phone games, which were like black and white, tiny screens, one button input, you know. So that was going back to really square one. Yeah. But then we saw that transition from early mobile games up to like full color 3D sort of stuff. So yeah, that evolution really helped me when I moved over to Flash, because I learned how to make things efficient and fun within just like using a few resources. And yeah, that would of course later help with our Mega Drive title Xeno Crisis. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, Megadev. I think we gave it a go for a good, I don't know, it felt like 6, 7, 8 years maybe. Okay. But that fell apart. And then I was working at the Solent University in Southampton lecturing in games for a while, which was a lot of fun. But eventually my old colleague Matthew Cope got in touch, and he wanted to get back into making games. So yeah, we formed Bitmap Bureau, and 88 Heroes was our first title.
Yes, I remember it well. I remember you, in fact, gifting me a copy of that for the PlayStation 4, I believe.
Flipping heck, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, a long time ago, yeah. I mean, it went straight in the bin. I didn't play it. But, no, it was good fun. It was a novel game, because obviously you had to switch between different kind of little superhero characters, didn't you? Each one had like a different ability. Yeah,
it was a stupid idea, really. Most games you control maybe one character. If you're playing Mario World, you just control Mario, and it's enough trying to get one character playing really well and smoothly. But no, this game had 88 playable characters, and they're all quite quirky and different as well. So yeah, it was absolutely test and design nightmare. But I think the end result was quite fun. It wasn't quite what I had in my head to start with, but it meant we could get a game onto PC and console, and set the ball rolling nicely for the studio as a whole.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm looking at your Steam listing at the moment, and 88 Heroes is currently $12.99. Bit steep, that, Mike. Bit steep, but
sorry, I don't set the price in, mate. I'll just work here.
No, obviously Bitmap Bureau now is very respected in the world of video games. Full stop. Let's talk a little bit about your escapades on the Dreamcast then with Bitmap Bureau, because you mentioned earlier Xeno Crisis for the Mega Drive. What's the origin story of that particular game, and how did it come to be on the Dreamcast?
I think it really started with the 2016 Global Game Jam. So yeah, it's like 10 years. 10 years, damn. And Matt for some reason was really keen to make a Mega Drive game over the weekend. We get 48 hours, and I thought that's just crazy. We're never going to manage that, and if we do manage it, it's not going to be very good. So we turned up at the University of Southampton and bashed out this Mega Drive game called Fatal Smarties, which was a very simple side-scrolling shooter. It was called Fatal Smarties because I think one of us cut our hand open on a Smarties tube somehow, and our artist John decided to call the game Fatal Smarties. So that's where it came from.
There's a lawsuit in that, where there's blame, there's a claim.
Actually, if anyone from Smarties is listening, it's nothing to do with you guys. It's cool. There's nothing on you. So.
no hard feelings, no.
Yeah.
So how did that evolve into Xeno Crisis then?
Well, I think we were just encouraged by the fact that we were able to put something together in 48 hours, and we went back to the office and said, right, how can we make this into a commercial release? We were never going to convert Fatal Smarties into a game, but I sat down and thought, what kind of game would really suit the Mega Drive and make the most of its personality, I would say, like the whether you're talking about the color palette or the Yamaha sound chip, the 3-button controller. I just felt like something a bit gritty, and something top down, because I'd made a few top down demos. And there was also Smash TV on the Mega Drive, which we didn't think was a terribly good port, and we thought we could improve on what they'd done. So that was like the starting point, really. But it kind of became Smash TV meets Aliens with a few extra bits bolted on, and kind of evolved from there, really. And visually, we're aiming for something along the lines of Chaos Engine, Alien Breeds, Outzone, Mercs, Shock Troopers, that kind of feel. And we went to, I think I just wrote an email to Henk Nieborg one day, who I knew was an incredible pixel artist. I didn't think he'd be interested, but and I thought he might be out of our price range, but somehow he agreed and was really excited by the project, and he started bashing out some art, and it just looks amazing. Yeah. And on top of that, I found a Swedish composer for the Mega Drive called Daniel Barlin, otherwise known as Savage Regime, and he was making stuff on YouTube, videos of his work, and it was just incredible. I couldn't believe it was actually Mega Drive music. Mm-hmm. So I wrote him an email and said, "Hey, we're making this Mega Drive game. Really love your stuff. Would you be up for writing some music for us?" And he was up for it too. And I also got this another artist called Catherine Menabde, She did a lot of the cutscene art. So yeah, with a really nice team there, and together, I think within 12 months, I think we finished this game, and it looked and played great and sounded great, and then it was a matter of getting it onto the Mega Drive.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, the version I'm most au fait with, if that's the right term, is the Dreamcast version. I've obviously played it on the Switch as well. But I really appreciate the aesthetic. I mean, you did mention earlier the influence from Aliens. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of that franchise and the work of H.R. Geiger, who inspired the look of the Alien. But I just love the kind of the vibe, of the sort of the Marines that are kind of lost on this planet, and you've got to escape and rescue all of the survivors. There is very much a throwback to the design, I suppose, of Aliens, the movie. With the sort of the trapped colonists, encased in this kind of slime, and obviously Ripley doesn't rescue many of them, but obviously that's the intention in this game. Kev, have you? I know you've played it. I mean,
yeah. It sounds so obvious to hear you say these, Mike, but mentioning Super Smash TV and Alien Breed Tower Assault is like one of my all-time favorite games, and I absolutely love Xeno Crisis. I remember, I'm going to give him a shout out here, Mike Feeling. I remember playing it once on the Xbox, and he was one of the backers who had his name in the game. And I remember jumping across my room to get the phone before he got killed to take a photo, to be like, Mike, you finally came up, because a few other people had seen him, but he'd never seen him himself, because there's quite a few of the character names that get thrown up, isn't there, from the backers?
Yes,
that's right. Yeah.
But yeah. It's just, I don't know. It's interesting to hear that Tom likes it. I like Alien, but I'm not as big a fan as Tom. But like the things that I like is like the kind of Predator references, the Tower Assault stuff. So it's interesting to hear someone who likes it as much as you, but from a different angle.
Yeah, and of course with the Dreamcast version, because of the game's design, you managed to shoehorn in. I say shoehorn in. That's probably a bit disrespectful, but you managed to get the old twin stick working with the Dreamcast.
Yeah. Which hold on. Didn't I buy this off you? I think you borrowed it in inverted, commas. Borrowed it back off me.
That rings a bell. Yeah, wait a minute. Yeah. I think Louis has got it now. Actually, yes. So,
right.
We had this set up at Nottingham. Was it Nottingham Game Fest?
It was, yeah.
Everyone who came along and had a go at it was blown away. Because a lot of people had never seen the twin sticks in person before, but just how well it plays. And like to the extent that when I play it now, I'm a bit like, oh, this isn't as cool without the massive mech control stick in front of me. So it's just, with that, it's a superb edition.
Yeah, that's definitely the way to play it if you can. Yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah, I was going to add, if I ever see anyone like some of the Discords, I mean, where there's a lot of like new people to the Dreamcast, or they're finding out about new games, and if they're ever like, oh, I've seen that you can get Xeno Crisis on this, I've played this before, I'm always like, the twin sticks work with that on the Mega Drive. It's just like a sales pitch that comes out of my brain, and then I'm like, oh, I don't own them. I need to stop telling others about them because I'm just going to drive the price up.
So Xeno Crisis on the Dreamcast, it's a big success, I'm sure. Obviously, you ported it to other systems as well, other retro systems like the Neo Geo and other 16-bit and 32-bit consoles. Did you put it on the N64 as well, didn't you? And the Game Boy Advance, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Super Nintendo as well.
Yeah.
We've got it running on PS1, but we've just got to solve the disc manufacturing issue.
Oh, okay.
And we've got other ports lined up as well. We've got it on GameCube actually.
Is that actually out, or is that an exclusive for the podcast?
Yeah. Oh no, it's been out for like 2 years, mate.
Oh. You could have humoured me. I wouldn't have known any different.
Yes.
Nice one, exclusive.
Christmas 26, mate.
What, without the double pack as well? Triple pack. There you go. So, obviously, you've got a history with the Dreamcast, Mike, and you've been there, since the beginning, really, in the games development industry. Why? I mean, this is going to sound like a really pointed question, and probably one that you can't answer. So apologies. Why do you think the Dreamcast still has such an appeal with like indie developers? Is it a fact that it's really easy to develop for? I'm not a developer, so I don't know, but I hear these kind of things on forums, etc. Or is it just the magic of the Dreamcast that it was this console that could do so much but failed prematurely? What do you think?
I think a lot of it is the ease. Yeah, I mean it's essentially a CD-based console, so you can slap something on a mill CD and distribute it, which is really appealing. And there's a fair bit of power there as well. It's nowhere near as tricky as like programming a game for the Mega Drive or Super Nintendo, for example.
Well, it's easier to program for the Dreamcast, is it?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's the secret reason it's easier, Mike. And you can tell us, and we'll edit this out. Because you can plug the keyboard in, you can program all the games in HTML on the website browser. Because that's how video games are made.
Yes, Kev, that's right, Kev. Yeah.
I told you, Tom. You said I was crazy.
Where'd you find this guy, Tom?
I don't know. I don't even know who he is. He just turned up on the call.
No, it's I think it's fairly close to PC development. I don't really do the retro coding, but I know that if we can get the game on the Mega Drive, then it's fairly straightforward to then get it onto the Dreamcast. I'm pretty sure the code base, a lot of the sort of logic side of it gets shared as well. I mean, I think, I'm pretty sure the Dreamcast runs C code as well. So yeah, that's a big advantage.
I know there was one particular game that you developed, Mike, Final Vendetta, that I was told that it couldn't run on the Dreamcast because of like memory constraints and that kind of thing. Does that sound about right?
Well, I think Matt's looked into it since, and he's more optimistic that it could happen. Obviously, we've got to get the Neo Geo version out. It's been sat there for some time, and we've had a busy couple of years with the company being bought out. We've taken on a lot of staff, and Matt's kind of fallen more into a managerial role, really.
Okay.
He's not really had the time to put into the retro coding that he would like to. So we're very conscious that we need to clear the slate, really, especially with Final Vendetta. But we certainly had a good look at a Dreamcast version, and we were initially worried that there were too many sprites, they were too big, and there were too many frames. But that certainly applies to the Neo Geo CD. There's just not enough RAM for it to be possible. But I think Matt was when he last looked at Dreamcast, I think he was more optimistic. So maybe it could happen.
Never say never, basically.
Yeah.
How much? This is going to jar with you because this is a serious question now, Mike. But how much kind of untapped potential do you think there is with Dreamcast and the Dreamcast home dev scene?
I mean, as a whole, I think the Dreamcast, it was, what's the word? It kind of died off too early, really, and I think Sega got it wrong. I think they were more interested in porting their arcade games and having that cross compatibility with Naomi and Dreamcast, which had some benefits, but untapped potential, I think, is the word. And I think the Dreamcast obviously got great 3D potential, but Capcom produced some incredible 2D ports, especially Street Fighter 3 and Street Fighter Alpha. So I mean, it can do anything really, and it feels like, I don't know, did we ever have that killer app on Dreamcast? Was it Rez? It certainly wasn't Sega Rally 2 or Virtua Fighter 3 or Shenmue 2. It just felt like, it never quite happened, whereas the PS2 obviously had a several killer titles, you could argue. So I think there's potential there for something really special, and I'd certainly like to create a Dreamcast specific game at some point. Probably going down the 3D route really to get the most out of it. And I think it really is a 3D console. But yeah, like I said, it can do anything, and Capcom really pushed the 2D side of things with it. So. Yeah.
That's interesting to hear. That's interesting to hear because I know that there has been some kind of dissenting voices from within the sort of the fandom or the community, if you will, about the reliance on a lot of Dreamcast games being more 2D centric than using the full power of the system. Because obviously we know it's a fairly powerful little console, even by today's standards, I think. But just on the topic of 2D games. Let's move on to your latest and greatest, Terminator 2D No Fate. Obviously, he's on all modern consoles that you don't like. This is. I mean, I'm not blowing smoke here. I think it's a phenomenal game. It just captures the. If Xeno Crisis was more of a sort of an homage to Aliens, then obviously Terminator 2D No Fate with the full license is just a. It's almost like a scene-by-scene retelling of the James Cameron film, which is one of my favourites, and just absolutely nails it. Every scene is just like a little pastiche of that particular sequence from the film, but done with so much reverence and respect that it's just. I'm not just saying this, but it's a phenomenal achievement. So I think you should be really proud of that. And can
I put this on my LinkedIn?
Absolutely. I think the reviews were overwhelmingly positive, and the community kind of feedback I think was stellar, wasn't it? So the question is, I suppose, when's it coming onto the Dreamcast? Now I've buttered you up with all that. When's it coming to the Dreamcast?
Yeah, I'm probably not allowed to talk about.
No, I'm joking.
I mean, we are bringing it to several retro platforms. Yeah, I think that's been confirmed. Okay. We haven't confirmed which ones, but I think if you look at what we've done previously, you can probably imagine what those platforms might be. And I think. I think TTD, technically, I think it's probably more possible than Final Vendetta.
Oh, really?
Because Final Vendetta had, like I said, just such big sprites, so many frames of animation. So, it's definitely more of a candidate. But maybe, why not both? I'm not allowed to.
No, I wouldn't expect you to. I wouldn't.
Because I'd be in a lot of trouble. But I would certainly like to see it, and. At least from what I know, I think it could be done. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, that's all but confirmed then for Christmas 2027. No.
It's going to be massive. That is a good big box, old PC style.
Brilliant. Kev, have you played Terminator 2D?
Yeah, I absolutely love it. I've had I've been listening to a podcast, an IGN podcast. Lewis might want to bleep that out because I think the internet still hates them. And I'm really behind, Mike. And they mentioned that the game's coming out, and they're like, "Ooh, I'm not sure if this is going to be good." And I'm like, "Oh, just you wait. And I'm so looking forward to when I catch up to the episodes because I know the hosts are going to love it, like me and Tom love it. Because it feels like it's a game that's from your childhood. That's the best thing I could say. Like, I know that no Mega Drive game would look like that or run like that if I went back, but in my brain, that's how, like, eSWAT or whatever it's called was. The game where you're the police guy that turns into a robot.
Yeah, I love a bit of eSWAT, yeah.
And it's just like, it's one when it first came out, I used to get annoyed because my kid would be in the living room and I'd be like, I need you to go upstairs so I can play me violent game because you don't like it. So... And then I kept being like, well, maybe if I know she's only 9 and she's quite sensitive, but maybe if I just make her watch the films, she'll have more grounded context of why this game's so awesome. But I ended up watching them by myself. So
probably for the best. Yeah, probably for the best.
Yeah, probably for the best.
Mike, obviously we've kept you for a long time now, and I'm sure you just want to get away from us because you're sick of us. But I just wanted to talk very, very briefly about your your upcoming game, which is He-Man Masters of the Universe. What can you tell us about that?
Well, I think I'm under contractual obligation not to say anything. So
Okay, well, that's told me.
Yeah, well, it's been great talking to you. So
Yeah, no, thank you for joining us. Kev, what were you going to say?
What's above a quad pack? A supt pack? Christmas 26? I think that might be 7. I don't know.
So what's in it already, wasn't it? Giant Killers, Stampede, I forgot the rest. Right, anyway, Mike, it's been an absolute pleasure. It's been a good laugh. We really enjoyed having you on, talking about your history with SCI and IO Productions and Giant Killers and Kev's fascination with Lee RMI and Wickham Wanderers, and of course your current crop of excellent games for Bitmap Bureau.
Cheers, mate.
Where can people, I'm sure people can find you just by Googling Bitmap Bureau, but if you wanted to give out where your social media platforms and accounts are?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're very active, but we are on Twitter. I won't call it X. We're on Blue Sky, Instagram and Facebook. Yeah, if you just search for Bitmap Bureau, if you can spell it, then you'll probably find us.
Fantastic. I always misspell Bureau. I always get that wrong.
Oh, I can't even say it, mate.
And there's no X on the end either, is there? So
Bureau. No, it's singular. Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, once again, thank you very much for joining us. This point.
Pleasure.
I'm going to read out the names of our patrons who actually keep this podcast going. So without further ado, I shall clear my throat. I will not whistle them, don't worry. I will. Thank you very much to all of our Patreon members. You can find us at patreon.com/the Dreamcast Junkyard. And these are the people who have donated thus far to our podcast. So thank you very much to Matt Childs, Jason Luxton, Andrew, Casey Radio Man, Tom Charnock, don't know who that is, Douglas Wright, Ty Guy, Gary Meacher, Anthony Harrop, Your Mum, Lee Sparks, Thomas Vergler, Wombat, Ross Kilgarriff, Willis Alvey, N Sanders, James B, Derek Pascarella, also known as A-Team, Pizza Hotline, Lewis JFC, don't know who that is either, and Lawrence Goodchild, who I do know who that is. So yeah, thank you very much to all our patrons for supporting us. Kev, where can people find you online if they wish to find you? Where can they find your Giant Killers videos?
The Giant Killers video is on the Dreamcast Junkyard YouTube. If you're sitting there and you're like, do you know what? I really like this Kev guy. I wonder what his views on Premier Manager 98 and 99 and a whole host of other PlayStation 1 games and PC games are. Then it is the Maceo Ball channel on YouTube. I will see you there.
I need to watch this.
Brilliant. Done. So you can find us as a collective at thedreamcastjunkyard.co.uk. You can find us on Twitter at the DC Junkyard. You can find us on Blue Sky. It's just the Dreamcast Junkyard. We're also on Facebook, again, Dreamcast Junkyard. Surprise, surprise. And that's the end of the podcast. So yeah, once again, Kev, thank you for joining us.
No problem.
Mike, it's been a pleasure, and happy birthday.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, 50 on Saturday. You're coming, right?
Maybe.
You better be there.
Right, thanks everybody for listening. I will see you on the next episode. Goodbye for now.
This is the Dreamcast disc. 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 And is for use only on a Dreamcast unit. Playing this disc on a hi-fi or other audio equipment can cause serious damage to its speakers. Please stop this disc now.